The situation in the Middle East has once again reached a boiling point. The Israeli military has launched a series of airstrikes targeting Gaza and Lebanon. These strikes have resulted in a devastating loss of life. Reports from the ground indicate a grim reality. At least 35 people have been killed in Gaza. In the northern region, 17 more casualties have been reported since the operation began. Adding to the tragedy, 18 individuals have lost their lives in Lebanon. These deaths are a direct result of the ongoing conflict. The situation highlights the far-reaching impact of the violence. Innocent lives are being lost on multiple fronts. The international community watches with bated breath, hoping for a swift resolution to the crisis. The situation remains fluid, with tensions running high. The possibility of further escalation is a very real concern. The world is holding its breath, hoping for a peaceful resolution to this latest outbreak of violence. Iran, a key player in the region, has voiced its strong condemnation of the Israeli attacks. Iranian officials have vowed a punishing response to what they perceive as acts of aggression. The Iranian leadership has pointed fingers at both Israel and the United States. They accuse both nations of fueling the flames of tension in the region. Iran has pledged unwavering support to its allies. They stand ready to defend against what they view as unjustified attacks. This strong rhetoric from Tehran is deeply concerning. It raises fears of a wider conflict erupting in the region. The situation is precarious, with the potential for miscalculation looming large. The international community is urging all parties to exercise restraint. The stakes are incredibly high, and the consequences of further escalation could be catastrophic. In a move that has further escalated tensions, the militant group Hezbollah has claimed responsibility for a retaliatory attack. Their target, central Israel. Hezbollah's attack focused on military and intelligence facilities. Among those hit was a base located near Tel Aviv. The attack has left 11 people injured. Hezbollah's statement following the attack was unambiguous. They declared their actions to be in direct retaliation to Israel's recent operations in both Gaza and Lebanon. This tit-for-tat exchange has pushed the region further down a dangerous path. The cycle of violence seems to have no end in sight. The international community is left grappling with how to de-escalate the situation. The need for dialogue and diplomacy has never been greater. As the violence escalates, the international community has issued urgent pleas. World leaders are calling for de-escalation and restraint from all parties involved. The growing number of casualties is a source of deep concern. There is a palpable fear that the conflict could spiral out of control. Diplomatic efforts are underway, working tirelessly to broker a ceasefire. The goal is to halt the bloodshed and prevent further suffering. The situation is incredibly delicate, with each passing moment carrying the risk of further violence. The hope is that cooler heads will prevail. The alternative is unthinkable. The ongoing conflict has had a devastating impact on Gaza. The continuous airstrikes have left a trail of destruction. Homes, hospitals, and essential services have been reduced to rubble. The already dire humanitarian situation in Gaza has been pushed to the brink. The United Nations has issued a stark warning. They paint a grim picture of a looming humanitarian catastrophe. Millions in Gaza face acute shortages. Food, water, and medical supplies are running dangerously low. The situation is desperate, and the international community must act swiftly to avert a full-blown crisis. The need for humanitarian aid is immediate and immense. The escalating conflict in the Middle East is a stark reminder of the fragility of peace. It underscores the importance of dialogue, understanding, and a commitment to peaceful solutions. The violence has caused immense suffering on all sides, and the cycle of violence seems to perpetuate itself. It is easy to feel overwhelmed by the complexity of the situation, but we must remember that behind the headlines are human beings whose lives have been torn apart by conflict. We must resist the urge to demonize those on the other side, and instead seek to understand the root causes of the conflict. The path to peace is long and arduous, but it must begin with a shared commitment to dialogue and a recognition of our common humanity. We must demand that our leaders pursue every avenue for peace and hold them accountable for their actions. The future of the region depends on it.